All right, hey there. Good morning, everybody. Chris Franks with Texas West Capital. It's about what is it? About 10 minutes, not quite 10 minutes after 11 a.m. Central Standard Time here on what is it? Wednesday, the 16th of September, 2020. Good to have you all here. I've got, as you can see here, I've got this this new functionality from the streaming software here that gives us this. That shows the chat box here in the thing here. So we'll see how this works out. We'll kind of try it out today, see how that works for you guys. That way, anybody that's looking back on the video can actually see the chat. It's not just seeing me trying to say something to somebody and they're like, "Wait, what?" So we'll check it out. Hopefully, everybody's doing all right. We've got who we got there? We've got Alfredo here. We've got Cameron here. We've got Nevlusian. Aramis, good morning. Good to see you. We've got Spiral Architect, Hank's here, Sean, LG's here as well. Good to see you guys. Don't forget, if you haven't joined us yet, you better get onto it. You can do it at howtotradetowin.com. And remember, today or tomorrow, we're going to cut off new memberships for Tier 1 and Tier 2. The only way you'll be able to get in with us is Tier 3. And we're going to actually limit that depending on the inflow. For a while, and then just to make sure we can handle it, and we're not like losing quality here with our members. That's a big thing for us guys. We've been doing this now for just over 3 years. We continue to add more and do more for prices that are much less than what we actually started charging for much less 3 years ago. So the goal is to keep everything running smoothly and to make sure that we're not letting our members down with what their expectations are. As long as those expectations are realistic. Those of y'all, if you're not with us, talk to people who've been with us for a long time. They'll tell you, we're pretty easygoing and we try to add as much as possible. We've got a suggestions area that we're always trying to implement suggestions and whatnot as long as it's feasible and, for us to do. So we'd love to have you all there. So join in, guys. howtotradetowin.com. Who else is here? James Daly checking in. He says, if you could fill in that CME gap and send it, that would be awesome. Hey there, Kyle. Good to see you checking in. Mike checking in. Train Crypto is here. Club Trader, what's going on, guys? LG, as you can see, they're saying, sign up. You'll cover the cost of membership, not only with gains from the better trades you make, but also preventing foolish losses. I appreciate that. Thanks for saying so, man. Yeah, hey there, Brian. Good to see you. Again, guys, everything we do is really based around education. I'm not like what you're going to find everywhere else, and where everybody tries to prove that they have some crystal ball and they can tell you exactly what's going to go on. I go through great lengths, kind of like I do on the these live streams here, explaining what I'm looking at and why I'm looking at it and what it may mean. The idea is to get you to understand these things, and then as you begin to understand them, you can come to your own conclusions. At the end of the day, guys, not myself or anybody else is trading your money. So you are entirely responsible for what you do. You can go, oh, well, somebody said that I should go long, so I went long, so it's their fault. No, it's your fault. It is your money. You are the one trading it. You are making the choice to listen to somebody or not. You guys absolutely have to get that. There's this large lack of personal responsibility in the space. And I'm going to tell you what, guys, the problem with that is if you're not taking responsibility for the trades you're making, then you're going to continue to lose. Why? Because psychologically, if you're not taking responsibility for taking those trades that you're taking, then that means you're always kind of off putting it onto somebody else. So it's never your fault, which means you're not going to change anything. Psychologically, you're going to continue doing the same thing over and over and over again. And what do they say? When you do the same thing over and over and over again and expect a different result, that's the definition of insanity, right? It's these types of things that we try to help you guys with more than anything else in your risk management. We take the approach. Other guys are going to get you out there and they're going to say, you know what? All you need to do is learn how to do Elliott Wave, or all you need to do is learn how to do, this particular technique to trade, and you're going to be so rich. It's such nonsense, guys, because even if you get good at that, the problem is you still have to fight yourself. You still have to deal with your what do you call it? Your emotions and the psychology, and not just of yourself, but with everybody else. And so, you get in there and you think, man, I'm going to do all this and I'm going to learn this way to trade. And yet you're concentrating on the thing that has the least amount of return. The things that you can do that will have the greatest amount of return to your trading success, guys, are risk management and understanding the psychology and the emotions involved in the market. The market is not random. It is not, logical. It is emotional. That's it, guys. I mean, if you can really grasp that one part, it opens up the world of trading to you. But if you can't, if you think it's random, if you think that it's logical, you're going to lose money. So the idea is to understand what kind of emotions are at play and how they're at play and how that, what that generally means. And then deciding where you are in that area of trading there. And once you do that, that gets you off this whole, I got to buy at I got to sell at the highest price, at the absolute highest price, and buy at the absolute lowest price. It gets you out of that nonsense. That nonsense is going to lose you money. It gets you into this idea of understanding generally what's going on with the markets. And as you zoom into time frames, generally on those time frames, so you start understanding that a bottom is a range. A bottom is this thing that takes time. The same thing with the top. Your highest price and your lowest price are events. And doing this, guys, getting into all this changes the whole way in which you approach trading, making you, a lot more likely to be successful than not. And if you think about it, if you're honest with yourself, especially if you're new, that's completely 180% or 180 degrees different from what you think of things right now, right? And that's what we do. We get people out of that retail new trader mindset and get them into understanding what's really going on and how to look at the markets. So, as always, guys, would love to have you in there. We're a great group of people, man. I promise you. I can't imagine a better group of people to be a part of, man. They make my days enjoyable, and so I'm sure they'll make yours there as well. Anyway, let me see here. Spiral Architect agreeing with LG earlier. Zet, what's going on, man? Zet's all over them channels, man. Zet's one of our Tier 3 members, and you'll see him popping in a whole bunch of great information in a lot of different channels there. Casper, what's going on, buddy? Casper, been around a while. Tyler's here as well. Let's see. Data here, coming in late for 2 days in a row. Now you start feeling guilty? Good to have you here. Infernal's been with us for quite a while as well. You'll see him over there, and Data, of course, in the channels as well. So good to have you all here. Let's try and jump on here and see where we're at. So last night, I do these daily updates, guys. Hey, what's going on, Blake? Good to see you. Zet, just being honest, man. So I do these updates for our members. Video updates in the morning and in the evening for Bitcoin. As well as, chart updates throughout the day if needed, along with our initial analysis in the morning, And so last night I said, listen, it looks like we've still got another leg up. I said, if we zoom in there, and it's going to be a lot of information on this chart here, but what I did was I took another look at what everything was going on here, and I got us a 5 up for a 3, and then an ABC down for a 4, and then we had this descending wedge here. And I said, listen, guys, especially if we're breaking up above this, I said, we're probably headed up higher there toward our targets we were looking at previously. And so, they knew that it would be good to, a good, as I tell you guys, it's not, when you're trading, you're not just looking to enter a trade just because. You should be looking for those higher confidence trades, those trades that are more likely to work out. And so this is one of them. And so, those that were listening, went long here on the breakout. So we're up, 10,834 up to, almost $200 up this morning so far. And so the question is, where do we go? Well, based on the height of this descending wedge, that gives us this target just slightly above where we've topped out so far at 11,056. The other thing we were looking at as far as targets go is this R2 pivot right here. You can't kind of see it behind this thing. Let me jump over to the 4 hour here. There we go. So, breaking up above this R2 pivot on the 4 hour gets you to this 15-minute R2 pivot. So that kind of becomes that next area right around, 11,100. Now, the thing is, you can look here at OBV, and so you've got this rise here. So OBV hit a high here on the 15th. So that was yesterday about 3 o'clock in the morning, my time. So over 24 hours ago. And so, it hit this high here at 10.882. And so now we're up, what, a couple of $100 almost from that. Let me see here. Did I get that right? 10,882. Yeah. And then we're up here 11,037. Okay. So, $150 or whatever from that. What I'm trying to say is we're getting these higher highs here in price, but lower highs here on RSI, which means you need to be watching this. Because if OBV does not push higher and confirm this higher high in price, what you get from that, what you understand from that, is that retail is buying what your professionals, your smart money, as they call it, is selling. This OBV is trying to pay attention to what the larger concentrated volume is doing. The idea that larger concentrated volume leads price. Volume leads price. That's the idea. And so right now we're kind of seeing that. Again, we're pushing up here higher. OBV for right now is not confirming that. So, we could still have a bit higher to go up here. Once you're through the R2 there, you can look at the bottom of the range here at this swing low, which is 11,160. If you make it up through there, you can look right around the EQ here at about 11,290, 11,300. That's the way I would look at this going up. I don't know that we get that high a push. I don't think we do. Anything can happen, though. But really just kind of looking for it to top out somewhere in this area and head on back down there. Again, the 4 hour here, Stoke RSI, well overbought, RSI overbought, negative divergence here on OBV. If you drop into the 1 hour here, you've got this bearish divergence over the last 48 hours. Continual here as we've made higher highs off this. It starts back over here off this 10,750 high 2 days ago. So continue to make higher highs there, making lower highs here. Again, Stoke RSI kind of hanging around that overbought level. Once again, OBV printing lower highs and lower lows while price is hitting higher highs and higher lows here on the 1 hour. So that negative divergence there as well. Coming into the 15-minute here. Let me see here. 15-minute looks like... this is a big time frame here for the 15-minute. Usually I won't extend it this far, but just watching this as a general higher high level here. Locally, you're getting higher highs. Locally, the 15-minute is confirming what's going on here from last night, this move up. But again, moving out to those larger time frames, it's not confirming it yet. Doesn't mean it can't, but it does mean, you've got to pay attention to what's going on there. Different ways to look at this as a fifth wave. We've got potentially a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as a 1, then a 2, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe a 3, and then a 4, and then a 5 heading up. You could potentially look at this as an A, B, C as a 1, and then a 2, A, B, C as a 3. You have a pullback for a 4, and then an A, B, C up for a 5 as possible as well. So, a couple different ways you can look at this. So I think you just kind of look at this. You just kind of watch right now. Where is it going to reverse at in this area? It seems more likely than not that that's the plan. If we jump out here to the daily, what you're going to notice here is that we are overbought here on the daily Stoke RSI right now. RSI itself never actually hit oversold here. So, when you look at that, you kind of go, well, I think we may have a lower down. Now, it's gone pretty high for a wave 4. It could still be. If this is a 1, 2 and this were a 3, 4, it hasn't impeded on wave 1 yet. It's still below wave 1, so could be 1, 2, 3, 4. But I've got my count right now set to a 5 down, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then an A, B, and a C here for wave 2. And let me see here. Let me go to the 1 hour. I think that's where it's at. So that would then give us, where's that fib level? There we go. So the 50% is up here about 11,146. So getting up around that would give you an adequate wave 2. But, again, even continuing to push up, to 61.8 or even a 70.5 or 78.6 wouldn't be surprising if it's a 1-2. It'd be what you'd expect anyway. So, everybody, freaking out thinking things are going one way or the other, and really no reason to be that excitable yet. Things are just doing what we would kind of expect them to do at this time. So it depends on what happens up here. I mean, really, guys, bigger picture here, here's what I would look at. If you're really kind of getting above this swing high here, this 11,700, 11,730 kind of area, this larger, I say swing high, but this larger high volume node here, if you're pushing up above this, I think then you really start looking, okay, maybe this is like a, this is done pulled back and we're advancing above, this swing high here. But I think until that, there's still more than enough reasons, looking at this a whole bunch of different ways, that this is just, a first wave down, or at least a wave 3 and a 4 before a 5. So I think that kind of holds that area. There's really like the key. If you don't want to look at all the intricacies and all the overlap that's going on here and trying to figure out all these different possibilities, I think you just watch that. I think that's your best indicator right there. So if you're getting a rejection out of that area, well, then you've got to get through this here. But again, by the same token, if you get through this here, I think you definitely should be looking at further downside, potentially towards 7,000 at least. Because look at how large that high volume node is right there. So right now it provides support. As we keep on bringing in more and more information, you see it's getting larger and larger. The market's really interested in this 9,100, 9,400 kind of area here. So if you drop below that, you got a little bit of one here around 87, 8,800. Drops down again, smaller one here at around 7,900. Down here in the 7,200. All these levels sound familiar, right? Different ways we've looked at where price may go, and they all align more or less with these high volume node areas. But if you're getting under here, you've still got some positioning in here possible, but your odds start really increasing that you're headed down further. Because right now what's acting as demand support becomes supply pressure when you get under it. So you can look at everything else, or ignore everything else and just kind of look at that and say, okay, as far as the daily goes, here we are. Price is still below the daily pivot. Again, that pivot's right below that HVN we were just talking about. I'm not excited in potentially higher highs until we're breaking impulsively through this level. Again, you can look at the pivot on the daily, or you can look at the high volume node there. But until you're impulsively going through that and closing above it, I think you're still, depending on how you want to trade. If you trade pivots, this is still bearish. If you're trading the nodes here, that's still potentially bearish. There, you're potentially rejection coming up in that area. So, you kind of play the levels to levels while you're in here until you get a breakout there, or a rejection in this area coming down. And I think basically, that's just how you kind of look at there. Quick, fast, easy, no muss, no fuss, no fluff kind of way, just looking at it there. Oh, let me see here. Hey there, 51 ETH. Good morning. How do I look at the Kraken news? Oh, you're talking about Kraken becoming a bank or getting a bank license? I think that's good for the space. Sure. That doesn't mean that things immediately become bullish, though. There's still, I'm still looking for a possible flush out of the system before things head up. Kraken, being eligible to become a bank here in the U.S. basically is a long-term thing. Whether price goes up or down, that move is in itself a long-term kind of move. So, I think it's great for the space. I think it's potentially great for space. I haven't actually read everything about it. I just saw the headline. But, is it immediately bullish? No, I don't think so. No. Why would it be immediately bullish? Why would it mean that right now all of a sudden price would have to head up now? You see what I'm saying? If you think about it, there's no reason for that other than people getting excited. But, the same way we look at, everybody getting excited over the MicroStrategies thing. MicroStrategy, Bitcoin, reserve currency nonsense stuff, right? But yet the other side of that news is that somebody had to sell, $425 million worth of Bitcoin. So yeah, and they're actually taking on a very risky position doing this, putting that in there because again, for the market guys, you can get all excited about it, but if price drops, how long is MicroStrategy going to hold on to Bitcoin? Are they really going to hold it if it drops to 7, if it drops to 5, if it drops to 3? Are they really going to continue to hold it? Because I'll tell you what, if they do, their share price, no doubt, is going to tank like a stone. Because who's going to want to be a part of a company who what they're using as their reserve is losing half and more of its value because it's so volatile with the market and whatnot. So I think there's always more to it than the simple soundbite, guys. But I think Scott's right. I think it's bullish overall. Sure. I think it's something that's good for the space overall. I don't think it's necessarily anything other than maybe some knee-jerk reactions by people, as I just explained, trying to play off news maybe to give it to it. So, yeah. But you also have to remember, guys, y'all keep thinking in terms of, easier access and less supply being produced every halving or whatever. But the other side of the coin is you have to have demand. And this space is still incredibly difficult for new people, guys. I know many of y'all have been in here for a while, and so you're used to sending, to the addresses and the wallets and all this stuff. Guys, I'm going to tell you what, you are the exception to the rule. Most people don't want to have to figure all that out. This is what I've talked about. You've got to make it, before Bitcoin really becomes anything mainstream, it's got to be simple. It's not right now. I mean, I've been doing this for years now. I still get nervous every single time I put a wallet address in because if you send it to the wrong address, that's pretty much it, right? And so that's still too problem prone for, people are still going to make a mistake on that. There was this ad thing that got released recently, be your own bank. God, that's the dumbest thing. People don't want to be their own bank. In general, guys, get out of your own head. I like being my own bank. It's great for me. But I recognize that I am not the general public. And you guys need to recognize that about yourselves as well. People don't want to be their own bank. They don't want to worry about their own security. This is why governments exist. This is why centralized power exists. Because people would rather live under the guise of security and all these things that make their life easier so they can go about thinking about their daily stuff rather than the big picture, than have to deal with it. It's no different when it comes to Bitcoin, guys. Now, I'm not saying that Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies won't become bigger, in the future, because it's about, again, making it more accessible, make it easier. And there's lots of things that are being released which make it easier today than it was 5 years ago. And there's things being worked on that'll make it easier in a year or two from now than what it is today. But today, it's still incredibly difficult, guys. Overall, a lot more difficult than people want to deal with. And so we have to recognize that. We absolutely have to. I think if you don't, you're really just kind of setting yourself up to you're just lying to yourself, I think. And that's not good in trading, guys. Because it'll make you do things that you shouldn't do. Because you're believing your own nonsense. But again, some people are gonna listen to me when I'm saying here. They're gonna say, "Oh, you're so bearish." No, not at all. Not at all. I think all these things are going to happen. These things are going to become better. They're going to become easier. They're not there right now, though, and that's the problem. Well, when people kind of look at it, they assume, they just go off the initial "what does the news look like" kind of thing. But then when the news, when you start thinking about it, well, there's other things involved. It's not as bullish, maybe, as most people tend to, give it a knee-jerk reaction to. Again, I think it is good overall. Sure, definitely. One of the things we've needed is a crypto-type bank. Now, again, I haven't read a whole bunch about it, so I don't know exactly how Kraken expects to or plans to implement all this or what kind of service they're going to offer, anything like that. Just because they get this license to do it doesn't mean they're going to do it in a way that's necessarily the way you guys think that you want it done. So that's the other side of it as well. So we'd have to go back and look at it and see exactly what does this exactly mean for Kraken. What's their time frame? What kind of services are they going to offer? How are they going to approach all that? I think that's the big question that we should be asking right now. Let me see here. So anyway, like I said, haven't really read any of exactly what the whole Kraken thing is. I just saw the headline, so we'll see. I've got to actually read it to kind of figure out what actually they did, and what it means and what it may lead to with that. Let me see here. Excuse me. Let me catch up to you guys here. Hey, what's going on, Sylvia? Good to see you. Omar is here as well. Always good to see you. Let me see here. Hank's mentioning some stuff about the bank stuff right there. Hank looks like Hank's probably read a little bit more about it than I have. It looks like Hank may have some good information there for you guys. So I just went on that whole thing about talking about it, and Hank's saying it may just be a SPDI, so a special depository institution thing. So yeah. So okay. Let me see here. If your connection's bad, Hank, check Twitter. I'm according to the software here, everything's perfectly fine. No drops. It's green. It's all good. So, if it's not the platform that you're viewing it from, then it's your local connection. I know. Every time I say it, everybody's like, "Oh no, it's not my connection." Hey, guys, things have been kind of wonky here since we've had the whole pandemic and everybody's at home. Everybody, it seems like there's more use of the internet now, which is giving a lot of people who used to have pretty decent internet now having a little bit more issue with it. So, yeah. Let me see here. If things are blurry, check your, down in the corner, the right-hand corner of your view screen there, guys. Hit the, what is that there? The gear icon, and make sure it's set higher. But remember, if it's set higher, you've got to have a better internet connection to deal with it. Because, I record and send this out in 1080 HD. So that's what it comes out at. So if you're not getting that, like I said, it's either the platform and or your local connection at that time. So just be aware of that, guys. Let me see here. Yeah, 51. Bitcoin might have a bit of a knee-jerk reaction to MicroStrategies in Kraken. And that might even be what we're seeing here in the last few days. But that's all it really is. Those kind of news events, news events don't dictate overall price direction, guys. They give you temporary knee-jerk reactions of what's going on, but overall price direction is already figured out ahead of time. It's already in there, as we've shown many times before. So, that is what it is there. Hank switched to Twitch. Hank is saying Twitch is working good this morning, so it's probably Twitch, or it's probably YouTube then this morning, guys. Fortunately, there's nothing I can do with that. Let me see here. Hey, what's going on, Block Tech? Good to see you. I look like I'm a bear more and more each day, non-shaving. Oh, Hank, you've been following me for years. You know how this works. It grows out for a while, and then one day I kind of trim it all down, and then it grows back. Yeah. The funny thing is, with everything I know in my education and everything, to work in most of the professional world, with my particular skill set, would require that I have this nice clean shaven face all the time. I don't dig that, man. I'm not a fan of that. I'm a man. No. Anyway. Let me see here. Hey, Kyle, I'm not going to be looking at anything else today other than Bitcoin and DXY. You know, it's a Wednesday. We look at the other things there on Tuesdays and Fridays. You know, again, we do the, for Tier 2 and Tier 3 members, we do the multiple, the intraday updates for Ethereum against the dollar every day. So you usually get those a few times a day there. But here with the stream on, you know, the days other than Tuesday and Friday right now, we just do Bitcoin and DXY, kind of take a look at that. Let me see here. Phoenix, what says? It says, I never can hear you on Twitch. And the YouTube live feed usually comes on about 5 minutes after you start. That's so crazy, man. But, you know, again, guys, there's only so much I can do on my end. Like I said, my, you know, what I'm sending out's great. Everything on the software says everything's coming out perfectly. No issues at all. The Restream software says the same thing. So usually it's going to be, and you know, again, with everybody being home here, because you guys notice this is really an issue that we've only had the last few months, you know, as this pandemic's really kind of set in and everybody ended up at home. I think it's just a general, you know, bigger load there on the internet pipes, basically, with a lot of local areas, unfortunately. I wish I could do something for you guys, you know. There's not a whole lot I can do with it. Thankfully, you can download or you know, you can watch these later as well. So there's always that. Of course, if you're in Discord with us, you know, we've got that in there. By the way, guys, don't forget, starting next week, I will only be live publicly here on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. We're going to start transitioning where I'm going to do live streams for members. Moving more from the public to more to the members area in there. And so that should be fun. We'll be doing that. But starting next week, it'll just be 3 times a week that we'll be live publicly here. So don't forget that. Hey there, Crypto Girl. Good to see you. Let me see here. Tahir, what's going on, man, up there in Dallas? Hope life's treating you well. By the way, guys, usually I've got, you know, I usually keep this running when I'm doing the live stream on Firefox. So if you maybe it's a browser issue, maybe try Firefox, see if that works for you. Again, I also keep the streams up over here, so I'm getting the streams as well, guys, from Twitch and YouTube, and I'm not getting the same issues you guys are getting. It's not that it's coming from my software. It's hitting the servers and doing all and coming back through Twitch and YouTube, the same as you guys are watching. So, you know, that's why I say, you know, it's probably an issue there with the server. When I say with YouTube or Twitch, I mean with their server that you're getting their feed from, and or your local internet connection. So yeah, because remember, they don't serve off the same server. Got server farms. And so if you're checking in from, you know, the Netherlands or whatever, you're going to get your YouTube and your Twitch from different servers, then I'm going to get it over here in San Antonio, Texas. So just other things to keep in mind, guys. So anyway, yeah, so that's kind of what we've got going on here. You know, we're getting the push up. We hit the, looks like we just about hit that R2 pivot now. Let me see here. Let me zoom in a little bit. There we go. Yeah, just about getting in there. Price kind of starting to go upward now, going straight up almost now. Yeah, still a little bit. You know what? Let me do this. Let me do it this way. Let me kind of pull this at the top here. Kind of give us an idea where that high is there. But again, you know, 15-minute, getting pretty hot here. Well over, you know, getting overbought there. Top down on Stochastic RSI. Hit that R2 pivot. We've hit the target now off this descending wedge, so we go ahead and get rid of all that. We'll get rid of this wedge that was coming up on the earlier there. Now, there's always the possibility, again, when you're looking for higher up targets, there is this, this channel here. So based on the height of the channel, this breakout right here says that we may, potentially get up here again. That's around that 11,330 kind of area at that EQ, but we don't have to. What we could possibly see here is a throw over on this. And if it's a throw over, what you're going to expect to see is a strong reversal back down into the channel here. And that's going to give you a warning that that top may likely be in. And then you'll look for a decline below, the EQ here, the swing low right here. And then you'll look, of course, decline through the bottom of the channel there. And that's the way you'd watch it as it's coming down to kind of gain more and more confidence in the idea that the top may be in on that. Those are those levels that you're going to watch coming down. Let me see here. Let's see here. What's the topic for today's education course? I don't know yet, Crypto Girl. I'm still trying to decide. Like I said, I've got those same 4 or 5 things that I've been looking at the last couple of weeks. And I keep saying I'm going to make a decision, a week ahead of time. But then I'm like, no, what am I actually going to do this week? And a lot of times it depends on what we're... what the markets are looking like. So like last week we had those MACD techniques, which are completely odd and different than what really creative uses of MACD and the Williams indicator and everything to kind of figure out where you can get a good entry or whatnot. This week, no, I don't know yet. I'm looking at it. I'll let you guys know as soon as I figure it out. But don't forget, guys, that's that Tier 3 weekly educational live streaming stuff that we do at 4 p.m. Central Standard Time. Let me see here. But again, zooming back out here. Let me see here. Oh, just kind of catch up with you guys. Yeah, so again, 4 hour, getting up near overbought here, or a topped out overbought on Stoke RSI, and then RSI itself, being overbought. So still expecting more likely than not a reversal in this area. You can note that 11,330 kind of area is the EQ of this trading range. So a drop down and a rejection there. If we see price basically do this, that's a strong indication that we're heading to a new lower low there. This is a significant area to get rejected from. And, what you would look for is some advance through it and then a pullback if you're bullish. But generally, if you've got a low, if you've got lower lows still coming in, what you'll see is a rejection at this area that's been providing all this support all this time here. So this was a month's worth of support here. So to get hard to get rejected on that, you should expect price to be coming on back down lower from that. Let me see here. Let me see. If we look at the DXY this morning, man, I took a quick scalp on the Euro USD, pocketed about 20 pips or so because I came in late to it. Off this move in the DXY, this pop up. DXY, I'm kind of looking at as possibly again an A and a B, and then a 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5 potentially as low down here as this box right here around this 92.30 kind of area potentially. If we look at this, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So a 1, 2. If I want to look at that, I think this ends up just becoming like an overlap, though. More of this overlap here. It's just an ending diagonal. So I don't know that I would expect prices to get exactly where we would normally expect them to get. Let me see here. But if it does, look at that. If this is a 1 and this is a 2, and it follows to a 3, we'd be looking at about 92.49, and then the 5 right here at 92.33, right around that 70.5 retracement coming down there. But really not sure it's going to follow through all like that, guys. Got rejected at this new line here. So let me go ahead and kind of get rid of all this. Just finding bouncing right here off the same area. Price is just kind of going sideways here. So looking for further down. But, it could just get, even to the 61A here around this 92 area. Get the bounce. There's so many, really, we could see. Let me see here. I just don't want you guys thinking it has to go to where we normally expect it to go. We could see price just kind of coming down here, maybe doing something like this. So it's a 1, 2, and you get like a 3, 4, and then you get a 5 or something like that. An ending diagonal to play on this ending diagonal that's wave C, potentially. So, but nonetheless, that's what we're kind of watching on that. Don't forget, the Fed minutes are going to be released here in about just over an hour. Excuse me, I believe it's 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So the volatility that we're seeing this morning is is definitely expected. People positioning for that. We'll see how it goes. I don't know really if there's much to say on that. We'll just see what they say when they come out with that. Let me see here. Hank's getting more and more to the high to mid 80s train again, he says. Remember, it was just yesterday that he was seriously starting to jump over the fence to the other side. Hank, you're jumping too quick, man. We'll see what happens, though. Again, guys, no guarantees that this is the bottom here. We still could get that potentially lower. But for right now, the count is, just fine. It looks like a 1 and a 2 until it drops below this swing low over here. This is still a very valid count and what we'd be looking for. And the importance of the DXY, guys, continues to be. I know we still got people talking about, if the stock market does this or that. It's not the stock market. It's the DXY, guys. It's the dollar. There are rumblings. I've seen some online articles discussing about a possible dollar shortage right now that's being masked. And this is something that I talked about with you guys over the last year or so. I mentioned that, when we notice there's a dollar liquidity issue, the problem is it'll be hitting those emerging economies really bad at first, and then it'll kind of work its way up through everybody else. And it looks like it may be starting there with some small countries right now. So, we'll see what happens. We'll see what it is. But, the dollar liquidity issue is not just for, you and me and every other, regular person out there. It becomes the real big issue becomes for these emerging economies, end up defaulting on debt. And that, of course, hurts their populace, which, they're emerging economies. So it's not like they're doing all that well anyway. So it really, really is hurtful for them when that happens. Let me see here. So, that's kind of where we're at here, guys. We're just kind of doing this range thing right now, the sideways. Now, everything else aside in terms of the count here, if you get an impulsive advance above the pivot and close above it here on the 1 hour, 4 hour pivot there, I would immediately look at the R1 pivot as your next target. And then I'd have to take another look at what may be going on here. We may be back to the idea that this is 1, this is 2 at the 50%. And then this is a 1 and this is a 2 coming down here, heading up. So 1, 2, 1, 2. If price advances impulsively above this pivot, which again, depending on what's said and how it's said during the Fed minutes release, we could potentially see that happen. Right now, I'm looking at the larger, a little bit further downward count, but the USD against the yen is making a possible case for a reversal coming on that. So the timing with the news coming in, could lead to more hawkish than dovish comments there in it. So we'll see what happens. It's all speculation right now. what there's going to be said there. Let me see here. So really, that's kind of just where we're at, guys. I don't see a whole lot difference going on here on the CME here. As you can see, let's kind of close everything else out here. We're just at the S1 pivot. We're right here at this again, this resistance area. So getting rejected here. The CME, a little bit different market, right, than Bitcoin. It's still Bitcoin, but it's paper Bitcoin, right? And so the structure looks a little different. And, again, if I'm just trading pivots, I look at this and I go, strong volume. Look at the volume. It remained high all the way through the bottoms, guys. This is something you need to understand. If your volume spikes up on a decline and stays about that same level or higher as it comes all the way through, all the way to the bottom, there is nothing bullish about that reversal. That's the first thing, okay? If you're seeing this dropping off more significantly, then you can maybe be looking, okay, maybe a reversal here. But what this tells you is you've got similar to the same amount of selling pressure going on down here, what is this? 12.1 to 9,800. So basically $2,300 lower, 20% lower, whatever it is there, 15% lower. You've still got basically the same selling pressure coming in all the way down into the bottom. It's like somebody coming in there, if you're in the water and pushing your head underwater, and it's not enough just to get you underwater. They just keep pushing all the way to your faces on the bottom of the pool. That's the idea. It's the same thing going on here. So that's the first thing I notice. The second thing I look at is when you have these large candle spreads, large volume through the pivot, down through the S1, down through the S2, and you get this bounce here, and then you push up. I'm expecting a rejection around the S1. It's just moved down, relief bounce, further down. So those are the two ways I look at this in terms of volume and price action, and then in terms of pivots of how I would normally look at this movement here. So we'll see what happens. And I don't mean, a rejection exactly at the S1. It can pop on up here a little bit, toward this 11,300 area, as we talked about on the other charts there, which gets you right to the bottom here, right, this support area. But a rejection in this area and back down, you should definitely be looking for lower lows on that. It's probably a good likely place to short. You've got the odds are more in your favor than not in that case. A more higher confidence trade. Let me see here. What's going on, Blake? Have I ever used the Murray math lines? No, I haven't. I have not, but now I'm going to go look them up and see what they look like sometime this week. And who knows, if I see something significant in there, I might just teach them to everybody. They're in tier 3. Hank, if you don't like the ad breaks on Twitch, and there should be them on YouTube as well. It's what they do, not what I do. But Twitch, if you've got Amazon Prime, you can subscribe on Twitch via Amazon Prime, so it doesn't cost you anything. It's something that you get as part of your Amazon Prime subscription, and it takes off those ads, guys. Or, you can spend $2 or whatever it is, or $4 or whatever it is on a month subscription for that, and that takes away the ads as well. So, yeah. Just something to think about, if you guys are viewing via Twitch. I know we've been, in my household, we've been members of Amazon Prime for probably just about as long as that stupid thing's been around. I even forget, it just automatically deducts every year. But they've added so much. I don't know. We do a lot of shopping on Amazon. I'm not sure. Do you guys do a lot of shopping on Amazon? It's so freaking convenient. I've recently started having them deliver groceries. With everything I do with TWC and everything else, I don't have a lot of time to go grocery shopping, in person. So I can just do it on there and they deliver it in 2 hours. That's kind of cool. Just another way to get my money. It is what it is. Kyle says Amazon is too easy and cheap and fast. Man, I agree, man. I can't, gosh, if there's going to be one company to dominate everything in the future, it'll probably be Bezos and his whole Amazon thing. I mean, he's just doing it right. He makes it convenient and easy, and all your payment information and your address and all that stuff's already in there. You don't have to do anything new. You don't have to worry about a different login or anything, because I know like Walmart and some other stores are doing their, home delivery stuff as well now. But that's you have to set up a whole nother, payment thing on there, whatever. So Amazon does it. Hank, you've been Prime since it started. Hey, well then use that Prime membership there to get that Twitch monthly Twitch membership thing there, and that'll take off all the ads on the channel. So Phoenix says, I like to give business to the local vendors around me, the small guy. Yeah. I mean, usually I'm buying some locally anyway. It's just with my schedule, it can be really difficult to find the time to make it out and do it. As you've seen, Phoenix, I'm usually updating all day long, answering questions, chart requests, all that stuff there over in Discord. In addition to everything else I do. So yeah, it just makes it easy for me. But if I can, I'm definitely, I definitely buy local. Sure. Let me see here. Let's see here. Kyle, you share your Prime with your parents? That's awesome. He says they even have great TV movie content. Video games you're waiting to see. For sure. Oh, you did, Hank, on that with the Twitch? That's awesome. Anyway, yeah, so, we'll see if we get this, continue to push up here. You guys know where I'm looking in terms of those levels on all this as it continues to push up here. Let me see here. There we go. As far as the point and figure chart goes, we've got this ascending channel going on here. We're kind of pushing up into it at the moment, but this is the 1 hour chart here, and unless it actually closes off in there, no big deal. It can fall back off out of there. Looking at this particular area up here with the point and figure, remember that gives us this target down here around 67.50. So again, we'll see if we get that. At this point now, we're going to look at a decline through this swing low over here, this 10,000 level, to kind of signal that we might be heading down there. Yeah, that's a bigger target. I know that scares a lot of y'all, whatever, but just based on a point and figure count, that's kind of where it would potentially get you on there. And that's no different than that whole, 7,000 area, that we were looking at as one of the targets as well. So nothing groundbreaking or anything coming out of that. Let me see here. Oh, let me see. Anyway, so yeah, guys, that's it. Nothing really else to say. It's, again, I'm not going to... Until we're really getting above this 11,700 kind of area here, unless we're really kind of impulsively getting above that, that's holding a support, I don't see any reason to be overly bullish at the moment. But if we get above that, then we can potentially look at this being a bottom here and further up. Sure. We've already talked about the possibility of this being a 4 and having a 5 up, maybe targeting around 14,000 at that 2019 June high there, and then potentially printing a double top in that area. Though I don't even really think a double top is really what would be there, but nonetheless, printing a reversal around that area, and which would still get you down toward, 7,000 or whatever, 7,500 to kind of get in that wave 2 pullback. If that's the count going on there. So either way, you're still kind of looking for that large pullback, I think. So yeah, so we'll see. What's going on, Clarkman? Oil's already gone down, man. It's already gone down. It's just correcting right now. He's got that bounce. So we'll continue to watch it there. If the dollar gets some strength today, we should definitely see oil taking a hit. So don't forget, guys, Fed Minutes coming up in about an hour or so. I think it's going to do it for me here. As always, we'd love to have you joining us at howtotradetowin.com. I am who I am, guys. I'm going to tell you that I think we've got a great thing doing, and, we're always working to make it even better. But I am the guy, that runs it. So, I guess you can take it with a grain of salt. You don't know me. But feel free to, to talk to people here in the chat there. We got a lot of members who are hanging out here while I'm doing this on the live stream. Join us on Discord. You can go there in the profile section of my Twitter page there. You can hit the Discord link there, or you could just click on this right here on howtotradetowin.com, and it'll take you to the Discord server. And you can join a free trial there. We've got a 7-day free trial, which gives you access to a lot of different channels, just to let you see that how things are generally done, and you can talk to people that are in there, and they love to share their thoughts and what they think about what we do. So I don't pay anybody to do that. So I never ask them to go over and guys, I need you to go tell some people about this. I don't. If they want to say something, they do. And so I think that's a whole lot more. It says a whole lot more about it than me saying, hey, listen, you should go do this, guys. But anyway, I hope you guys have a great day. As always, thank you so much for joining in. We'd love to have you there. Don't forget, today or tomorrow, we're going to cut off new memberships for Tier 1 and Tier 2. You'll only be able to enter Tier 3, and on that, we've got a limited number of spaces for that. So, if you keep, if it's something you think you might want to do and you hold off too long, you might have to wait a while before we open it back up. But again, that isn't to do anything to kind of keep people out from that aspect. It's just to make sure that we can continue providing the level of service that we do right now for this large increase of people that we've had already come in over the last couple of months. And so, again, it's all about you guys. We're trying to do everything we can to make it worth you being a part of it, all right? So there you go. Remember, guys, the only thing, no matter how good things look, no matter how bad they look on the charts, the only thing that you control is how much you lose. So pay attention to risk management more than anything else, all right? You guys have a great day. Take care. I'll see you tomorrow at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. Those of you in Discord, of course, I'll see you guys over there in a bit. Have a great day, everybody. Thanks.